right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. My name is Adrian Tyus, and this is Abora Radio. Today, I have a special guest. This young woman is an accomplished designer. She's a beautiful mother, and just an all around creative and just a sensual being. I would call her a sensual light. And I'm excited to sit with her. I'm intrigued by the things that she's doing, and I wanted to take some time to just sit with her and learn a bit more about her and share that with you guys. Without any further ado, Miss EKNA Hawksworth. Hawksworth.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yes. Welcome to Abora Radio. EKNA, who are you? Where do you come from?
I'm Indian. I've lived I would say like I had a really beautiful childhood. I moved away from my society, from my family, from my community, just because I was different. And
I had the black sheep in the family.
Black sheep of the family. I was like amongst either Asians or I went to an international school, so Western community, and I was the darkest. So I quit school. I was like, I'm out. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm out at 15.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you were born in Thailand or born in India?
I was born in Thailand, but my ethnicity is Indian.
Okay.
I'm very close to my Indian roots, more than Thai roots, really. Always Punjabi. Mm-hmm. And I'm very proud of my culture. However, there are also just things I've moved away from, like shame, that contributes to a lot
of system
I'm doing today.
Okay.
On everything that I'm doing today
cool.
is, to reverse a lot of the stuff that wasn't serving me anymore.
We'll get into that a bit more, but is it taboo? Would you say that it's kind of...
Definitely.
You're a mother?
I'm a mother.
Your mom? How old is your baby?
Rahim is almost 2 now. He's 2 in a few months.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you give birth to him here or Thailand?
I gave birth to him in London.
Okay.
So we moved to London. My partner's British. We moved to London for a year. I had my entire pregnancy there. I gave birth there. I really tried to have a natural home birth, but it wasn't in the plan for me. So I was in labor for 6 days.
Wow.
6 days. Yeah.
It was really long.
It was intense. If anyone's a parent, Adrian, you're a parent yourself.
That's a long time.
It was a journey, and I guess since then I've honestly been on a journey of just trusting the process because I resisted so hard. I ended up having a C-section, and honestly, I'm proud of it.
Okay. And did your mom, was she naturally giving birth to you?
She naturally gave birth to me.
Okay.
Yeah, she did.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And so that was something that you were like, I have to do this. And it didn't really...
I think it was also just we were moving away from medical, I didn't want any medical interventions. I wanted to stay true to my Ayurvedic roots, and I wanted to go through the motions of doing things as organically as possible. But I wouldn't have made it if I did that, and I really wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't be here today, actually, and neither would Rahim. So that was a very life-altering, life-changing event that just made me realize I need to trust the process more. So I had a C-section, and honestly, today it took a lot of work. It was hard. And, I can say proudly today that I'm proud of it.
Right.
But it just took a long time to get to this space.
Beautiful. Yeah. Okay, let's rewind. Let's go back to 16, 15? You dropped out?
I dropped out at 15.
Okay, what happened then? Where did EKNA's journey, I guess, take off? Or, when you made that shift academically, what were some of the things that you were doing or finding yourselves in different environments?
I dropped out of school because I just looked around me one day and realized this is just not serving me or humanity. Like, I had this huge vision that's like, okay, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to, be in school. But I was an artist. I was always an artist. I knew what I wanted in my life. I was very strong-willed. And I just literally just got up one day and left and said, I'm never going back. And I remember the teachers looking me dead straight in the eyes and saying, you will amount to nothing. How are you going to get into uni? How are you going to do this and that? And I was like, I'm not gonna go to uni. I'm just gonna live out my life. And I traveled. I tried to be doing nothing for a while and thought that this was fulfillment and this was it. But I met my partner. It was a brief meeting. I met him when I was 17. Lied about my age. Told him I was 18. The rebellious side of me comes out again.
Was this in Thailand?
It was in Thailand. Yeah, I met him in Thailand, and it was brief and it was short, but somehow I stood there just looking at him, knowing, well, I said it in my head, I want to marry a man like that. Not him, but I want to marry a man like that. And little did I know, 2 years later, he proposed to me after meeting him again in like the airport. It's such a romantic story. People are like, what is this story?
Did you find out your real age?
Like the next day.
Okay. You couldn't hold it back anymore.
No.
So there was some time in between. You guys met, and then you're 17. He's how old?
He's 27 at the time.
Okay, so 10 years.
10 years
Older than you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there was a period of time where you were separate, and then he came back.
I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, creating a lot of art, physical, digital, all the things. I always felt like I've been an artist at heart, and I just wanted to showcase that and bring that to life. But I quickly came to realize I actually want more structure. Like, I wanted to learn, and I wanted to go into fashion. And I knew it was the most competitive industry in the world. Like, everyone knows this.
What drew you to fashion?
My dad.
Okay.
Because although I was always like rebellious to my family, I have a value that connects me to them. And I always felt like fashion was something I could, my dad put me in the boss chair when I was 8 years old. And he said, like, you are a boss. You are in control of your life. You can do whatever you want with your life. Yeah, and I made that decision then that I just wasn't gonna work for anyone. I wanted to be my own person. I wanted to own my own thing. And that was always something that I wanted freedom, because my highest value is freedom. And I wasn't gonna do anything less.
I think a lot of people get the help aspect confused with support. And a lot of times we want to reinforce these things, and we're like, oh, I need help. I need somebody to push me or kick me. And then it's really just the support that you're looking for.
When I got into a relationship with Phil and we got committed, Phil is my husband now, I wanted to go to fashion school, and I wanted to go to Italy. So I was like really aiming for the stars, and I went to, my family, and we talked about this, and they were all like, how are you gonna get into fashion school without a high school degree? And I was like, we're gonna make it happen. Like, we're gonna do it. I want to go to Istituto Marangoni. Let's make this happen. So we make it happen. There's a lot of shortcuts that I took. There's a lot of things I needed to do to work harder than most people. And then I did a 1-year intensive there. I graduated from there. And, that was when I really looked in vision. I looked at those teachers in the eyes that said I would amount to nothing, and said, I fucking did it.
Yeah.
That was huge for me.
And you were how old at that point?
I was 19.
19. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you had the support of your family. You had this beautiful man that was in your life now, who was committed to you and the relationship. No baby yet.
No.
And you're in an intensive program in Italy.
Yeah. It was actually a reoccurring theme. It was like, it went from school being you'll amount to nothing to fashion school being not you'll amount to nothing, but more you're gonna have to choose. You're gonna have to choose, do you want to be in a career path, or do you want to be in a marriage, or do you want to be in a relationship, do you want to have a family? You can't be a mother and be a designer. The fashion industry is competitive. You won't be able to keep up.
You won't be able to
There's no one in this, there's no teacher, there's no one in the school that is an actual parent or is in a relationship that doesn't break them. They're gonna, and there was one teacher actually, she was a leader in the school, and she ended up having a part-time job there. So they were like, do you want to be like her, or do you want to be like, and I didn't like that. Something about that didn't sit right with me. It bothered me so much. Every time Phil would walk me to, Marangoni, they would all kind of look at me, and I would be like, yeah, why does this feel embarrassing? Why does it feel like I can't have a partner? He supports me day in, day out. Why does that feel so wrong?
There's something about the industry, film, it's so time consuming. And I know with design as well, it's time consuming. So if you're giving 50% of your time to your relationship, and life, and personal, there's no real, 50% that you're
Yeah.
putting into the craft, and and you need to be able to be 100% in to really see changes and to evolve in that skill, right? What happened after that year?
I left. I was pissed off. I
Okay.
get like this a lot. I get pissed off. I was pissed off that they told me I couldn't do it. They told me you had to choose between your partner, your career. You can't have both. You can't be a mother. You can't do, and that challenged me. It challenged me a lot. So I got into so my path when I was young, I was sexually abused very badly, and I got into helping women heal from that. So I was doing some coaching. It started off as a side thing. I went deep. I didn't go big. And I really helped out some beautiful women. However, it wasn't fulfilling me.
Helped out?
Yeah, I was coaching.
Support.
I was supporting.
You were
I was
supporting
them.
right?
I was coaching them.
That's beautiful, EKNA. I didn't know that.
Yeah. However, it just wasn't fulfilling me. It was heavy. I was pregnant during this time. So the entire time that I was holding my baby, I was holding space for, what happened during your rape, what happened. And that was beautiful because I changed lives. I helped women get pregnant. I helped women get into a relationship, get out of a relationship, know what they want to do, how they want to create in life. Everything stemmed from creativity. And I didn't realize that it wasn't helping me grow personally. It was almost like that was my path for the time, like while I was pregnant. And then as I gave birth to Raham, my son, I just didn't have a desire to continue anymore. I thought I would stop doing this, and I wouldn't be anything but a full-time mother, because those words were ringing hard in my head that you can't be anything but either a full-time mother or a career woman. That boss babe culture, or you're just a mother. And this word of you're just a mother, it really it pissed me off. Again, I was pissed. So yeah, I wanted to move into creation of something that is my own, and that's where I refound fashion. That's what I'm doing now.
I just want to piggyback on the coaching aspect. And so you were able to influence and support women that have been in traumatic situations. And you said that you were able to help them get out of relationships, get into relationships, find love, find a new appreciation for themselves. And this was during the pregnancy?
It was a little bit before, and then I carried it on in my entire pregnancy.
How were you able to keep it all together for these women that were essentially looking up to you?
I had a very good pregnancy. My hormones weren't all over the place. I didn't go crazy. I was very happy. I was very grounded. There was something that connected me to, I created all of the time. Like, I feel like when you're pregnant as a woman, you just create all the time without even knowing.
Okay.
And creation keeps me in balance. Creation helps me stay grounded. And art. I've always been an artist. So without art, if I drop art, if I'm getting too busy in the chaos, and I'm like, I'm losing myself. I'm having a panic attack. I have anxiety. Why is this happening to me? It's most probably because I'm not in touch with who I truly am.
Okay. And what does a daily, I guess, day, what does that look like for you? How do you keep it together? Because something we want to kind of keep consistent with the Bora Radio is not really where you are, but how you got there. How do you keep it all together? Meditation, yoga, do you work out? Sex.
I love sex. I kept it together my whole life, I think, through the journey of sensuality, embodied sexuality. And sex isn't the act, right? It's like the entire eros of life. I feel like I can't breathe when that's blocked. I need to feel free. I need to feel like I'm in touch with my sensuality, with my sexuality, with who I really am at a core, with my pleasure. And that doesn't always look like, having my man there and having the act of sex itself. It can. It helps. It definitely does, but that's not what I'm really here to promote. I'm here to promote the feeling, the embodiment of what we're so tapped out of as females. I feel like, it's not a natural way for us women to be so boss babe culture or so like, in our masculine. I really think that when we are in our feminine, we are sensual, sexual,
Soft,
erotic
erotic.
creatures.
Yeah.
We are nature. And nature doesn't pause to like work really hard. we're meant to we're meant to flow.
Now, would you say that there's an imbalance there? Like with some of the women that you coached,
Definitely.
did they have issues with connecting to that
Definitely. And I
of sensuality and sexuality and just body appreciation, self appreciation?
yeah,
They had issues with it.
I had a mother who I worked with who told me, do not feel scared that your body is changing. And I had a lot of fear around stretch marks and like just being bigger and all the things that you're gonna go through. And I really took some time to think about it, and I'm like, human fear is so common. Like, of course I feel scared. Of course I felt a little bit of like, these stretch marks are gonna be here to stay. But it passed really quick. And it was like, I am not gonna lose. I had one fear during my pregnancy. It's like, am I still gonna be this erotic person that I've always been?
Would you
Are
lose
men
it?
gonna see me the same way? Are women gonna see me this? Am I gonna see myself
Yeah.
the same way?
Yeah.
And
And a
I
lot of women
have
are dealing
never.
with this, right?
It's true,
Men
but
deal with it as well.
this is the funny part, though. I have never been so hit on during any time of my life as much as when I was pregnant. Like, I was walking down the streets of London and people were like, can I get your number?
Right? Like, I know women look differently when they're pregnant because it's just like, whoa, she's carrying life.
Yeah.
It's just something really, for me personally,
really
it's something
beautiful.
sexy about that.
But more on body acceptance that we were talking about. I didn't feel like I didn't love or accept my body. And I guess that's something for me to look at. It's like how I can shift from loving my body so much to now loving my busyness and loving my unavailability and loving this side of myself right now that I'm like, actually, I'm not available for you. Many people don't get that, and that's okay.
Not everybody has access to you.
No.
And that's good.
Yeah.
And I think that's a part of growing and maturing is like knowing that you, especially I think from a female's perspective, or just a natural giver, male or female, knowing when to say no, knowing when to cancel, knowing when to
Yeah.
preserve your energy. Because, and I deal with this as well, I pour in a lot of glasses and then I realized I don't have anything in my glass. And then I feel a bit depleted. But then I feel reassured, okay, I've been giving. But then I need to reinforce what it is in me. I can't keep doing that and be dry, because then there's nothing left to give. And so I think with your experience and what we've just touched on, for our listeners, you've had this beautiful journey of self-enlightenment, but it came with awareness. It came into parenthood and the commitment to a partner. A lot of women can't say that. A lot of men can't say that. They've been committed to someone who has been a dominant force in their evolution, right? I think people get with people to see if it works and to compliment them. How has it been being with a partner like Phil?
Oh, wow. My relationship is the one thing that I honor. It's a sacred partnership. I really feel that. And I don't use that word lightly, but honestly, we've been through hell and back. And I'm not ever going to be overconfident, because there are days in partnership where, like, I'm married. And so that's like a solid commitment for me that, I want to live my life out. I've made this commitment to him. But there are some days where you look at that person and it all comes crashing down. You're like, I have to make this choice, whether or not I'm going to be with them, or I'm just like, fuck this shit, because I'm done.
You want to tap out. Yeah.
It happens so often. This is, honestly, relationships are hard. I'll be so honest. Like, relationships are so hard. It can ruin my day. And I say that with confidence, because if I'm in a fight with my husband, if I'm in a fight with my man, my day feels like it's ruined. And some people try to hide behind that. And I've noticed a lot in our society today and in the new age, it's just, I have a lack of compassion for people in general right now, just because I don't like the way that it's like, soldier on, let's not let this ruin our day. We're women.
And it's like, cut the bullshit.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when I fight with my man, I have the worst day ever. I hate my day.
It affects you because
it affects my day a
you're
lot.
committed. It's not surface level, it's deep.
But that being said, it can easily be something that holds you back from your greatest power. When you're in a loop, when you're in a cycle, when you're in something that doesn't serve you, we've had to die over and over again in our partnership, individually and together. And I think the thing, I get a lot of people come to me and ask me, how do you make your partnership work? I've been with him for 5 years. I'm young. I want experiences. I'm 25 and I'm in a marriage and I'm a mother. It's a lot. The thing for me, the real thing for me, you asked how I navigate this, is space. Space to do me, space to do him. We have separate bedrooms. People think that's weird. I thought it was weird starting off, but we have separate bedrooms. He stays in his own chambers. I stay in my chambers. I'm very happy because I know that, you know what? I have my space. He has his space. We have a 1-year-old at the moment. We both get to sleep. We both get to spend nights as a family when we want to. We're both young. We're both starting new businesses. We're both creating arts. We don't want to be all up in each other's spaces. Do we still have an amazing relationship? Fuck yeah. Do we fuck? Every day. There are phases where you're not in each other's lives because men and women were never supposed to be an amalgamation of or this is what I think, of a mush. That's just not what I'm for. So I respect Phil because he gives me my space and I give him his space.
And that sounds healthy. It sounds like it works, right?
It works.
And some of our listeners might be turning their noses up, or they might even turn this off right now. It's empowering just hearing your story and how you've been able to evolve your career, but also build sort of this foundation of this new way of being in a relationship, being in a committed relationship. It doesn't have to fit the mold of your parents. It doesn't have to fit the mold of your partner's parents and their background, and that's okay, right?
Right. I agree with you.
And I think that's really what a relationship entails. We're not trying to be in a relationship, or I don't think people should seek a relationship to mirror another relationship. They have to find what works for them, right? And also, you mentioned dying over again, dying individually and then dying together. They have to be okay with changing. They have to be okay with change. You don't get with someone thinking, oh, this is great, this is our honeymoon phase, we're gonna stay in this forever, we're gonna get a house, we're gonna get the white picket fence in the house and the kids and the dog, and it's just all gonna be cute and perfect. No, you have to be okay with shifts.
I agree.
And changes. And some people, that frightens them. It's not for everybody. Relationships are not for the weak-willed. And what I'm hearing from you is that you've been through things and you've allowed yourself to grow through those things. And I think a lot of people, whether they're creative or they have a strong academic background, they're looking for the sheer comfort, that cushion, that safety net, that comfort zone. And a lot of times when you want to be better, when you want to evolve, you're going to have to go through some crazy days. You're going to have to go through some shit. You're going to have to climb through the shit. You're going to have to get down and dirty.
Pretty much.
And break down, but also die. You're going to have to say goodbye to the old way and fully open and accept new systems of thinking.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Thank you, Adrian.
Fucking killing it.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, let's move into your brand. And so motherhood, you're shifting dynamics and the relationship is evolving. You guys live in different areas of the house, different chambers.
Chambers.
Yeah,
Did I
so
say chambers?
you said he's in his chambers, I'm in my chambers.
I totally said chambers.
That was funny.
That was funny.
So you were able to tap into EKNA Intimates.
EKNA Intimates.
How did that come about?
When I was young, I always knew I wanted a brand called EKNA. And my name is EKNA, and I have a brand called EKNA Intimates. And the reason why is because my name has a very, very beautiful meaning for me. And I've been told this my whole life, and I've gone in and out of this, but now I can say it's very beautiful to me because it means wholeness and oneness. And that to me is what I wanted to bring into awareness with the brand. So instead of calling it anything else, EKNA means oneness. And I feel like I wear it proud because my grandma named me EKNA. So, she was a very important woman in my life, and we family lineages, just connection to our value, connection. And it's an irony for me to say this because I'm not even sure that, my brand as an Indian, many people might not understand because there's a lot of shame embedded in the culture. I'm not saying anything bad about my culture. I'm very proudly Indian. I wear it with beauty in who I am. But in every culture, there's always sides that you see growing up. And for me, it was to do with my body and, you can't wear this and this, that. And I just hated it so much. I wanted to change that. I wanted women to feel confident wearing wearable lingerie. So that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I'm wearing my bodysuit right now. I wanted this to be normal.
This is one of your pieces here.
Yeah, this is my bodysuit.
Okay.
And there's a lot of story to it. It's a sustainable brand. I wanted it to be at least 75% sustainable, and I wanted a lot of art in it. So the gold piece actually here is made from a really good friend of mine, Alphine. She has a brand called Ours Design as well. A lot of beautiful jewelry, and she really goes with embodying metal with body. When you put something on, whoever makes that, whoever puts energy into that, you absorb that. And I wanted it to be, I'm not ahead of myself. I know I can't remove sexual shame. It's just not humanly possible. We all have shame to a level. But I want to make it so that I feel confident wearing it. And for so long I toyed with this and I was like, your brand isn't about you, babe. Like I looked in the mirror and I was like, it's not about you. It's about the people in the world, and it's about the women and the lives you're going to change. But I'm like, actually, it is about me. Because how I feel is how the woman next to me is going to feel, and the woman next to me, and my daughters and my granddaughters, and it is about me. And it took a long time for me to accept that, but I really believe now that my brand is about me. It's about the change that I make within myself, and I hope that can make an impact in the world.
How has the journey been so far?
Both beautiful and
I guess I'm wondering what are the processes? Yeah,
hard.
So you design?
Sleepless night.
Are you designing patterns? Are you referencing anything that's existing?
So I've designed everything on my own.
Okay.
And I don't make it on my own. I have a little fairy. She has made every garment for me, and then I sew in the gold piece by myself as a touch. But I've designed everything, and I've worked very closely with her with fabric, and the reason why I've chosen bamboo and modal and why this lace, and this where I want every cut to be, and I've really worked with her through that. And on the journey, I think it's taken me about 6 months to get here, but 6 months later, we're launching in a week. So
wow, that's exciting.
Yeah,
You're launching the first collection in a week. No, what day is that for our listeners?
It's going to be launched in Bali on the 9th, and then it's going to be February, and then it's going to be launched worldwide on Valentine's Day. I thought it was a nice touch.
There you go.
Why not? It's sexy, right?
So,
yeah.
And what has the feedback been like so far? I mean, have you shared any of the pieces with friends, relatives?
I have, and I really thought that, I have 3 sets total. So I've got the bodysuit, which is made again to wear this way, lounge around the house. Very lounge wear. I've got the corset, very vintage, bringing in that vibration. And then I've got the full savage set. I call it the savage set because the garter, the bra, the panties, and that so far has been getting the most attention. It shocks me.
The garter. So this is a man not really knowing anything about lingerie. Is that the part that connects to the thighs?
Yes.
Wow.
That's
I
right,
never
Adrian.
knew what that was. But that's sexy.
That's sexy.
That is very sexy. That's pretty hot. So you were able to create that. There's 3 sets.
I wanted it to be very versatile, very adjustable. So everything is adjustable. I try to include as much inclusivity. I will have, to start the first year, my plan is to have custom sizes made. So I have standard sizes being SML, but I want as much inclusivity as possible. So if someone does DM me, like message me, text me, I want this made. I'm an extra large. You don't have extra large. Don't freak out, by the way, that I don't have extra large.
All right.
I'll make it for you. So it's just not displayed, but it's custom sizes and it's all adjustable.
Very cool. And how can we find EKNA Intimates?
EKNA Intimates Instagram, and you can click the website, eknaintimates.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to be launching here in Bali. We're going to do a little fashion show this week. It's going to be exciting.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And what has the feedback been from relatives, family, mom, dad?
Like I said, I'm Indian, so, it's not normal. Nobody's ever done this in my family, and
no one's ever thought about it.
No one's ever thought about this.
You're really pushing the envelope.
I am, to be honest, but...
Is your dad still like, you can do whatever you want? I just feel like he sounds like that. I don't know.
Good question, right? Because he said that when I was 8. I'm like, I pushed the boundary. I'm here. I've started lingerie brands.
I never knew you would do this. I love you.
I think my family, it's very interesting because my parents have been really supportive. My parents have been really supportive. They support my brands. They support what I'm doing. I can't say they feel comfortable with it, but they support me. And that's all I need. So yeah, they haven't put a dime into it. This has all been me and my husband's project and something we've done on our own. That makes me very proud.
Well, congratulations. That's really big. You're 25 and you've accomplished a loving, what sounds like a very loving and healthy relationship dynamic. You've created a brand from scratch, from the ground up, and you're launching. It's not just like an idea that you're trying to get off the ground and you're talking about and you're sharing, but not really implementing real action. You've taken action, and you're a beautiful mother, right? On top of that. And so I see a lot of people being influenced by you, looking up to you, and maybe those people haven't reached out to you, but they're sort of on the sidelines looking, and they're voyeuring your life. Do you have anything specific to say to those people that are, motivated or, maybe not as motivated, but they want to do something and they're just not sure about how to go about it?
Yeah, I have something to say. First off, thank you. Thank you for all that. And I do have to say that the way or the path that we create for ourselves, to be honest, for me, was removing as much shame as possible. That was holding me back. I think you have to look at what's holding you back and just get rid of that, okay? Like, cut that bad fruit off the tree. Like, for me it was shame, and I think for a lot of women it's shame too. You grow up with sexual trauma. Everyone is sexually traumatized in this world, and you grow up today, and you grow up with that, and you get shamed, you get belittled, put down. You can't do this, you can't. So many times in life that you get so scared, you go and hide within yourself, and you don't want to put yourself out there. It's like, you don't want to go to that thing, go to that thing. Like, do the thing that scares. I feel like almost everyone, it's a cliche. You hear it a lot, but I go by it because honestly, if I was scared of what my society will think in back home, of what, you know, this person, of like, you know, I'm too much, this constant like opinion of myself that it's too much, it's too big, it's too deep. It's like, I can't do, really? But you can. You don't need that shame. So that's my little drop of wisdom.
Awesome. For our listeners, please just tell us, how can we find you? How can we find EKNA Intimates again? And we'll close there.
Okay, so through Instagram is the fastest way, at EKNA Intimates, and the website as well. My personal Instagram is EKNA Hawksworth. And yeah, I'm living out in Bali if you want to come and find me in real life. I'm here in Canggu. Yeah, Bali's great.
For the time being?
For the time being. I'm looking to move, but for now I'm here.
You going back to Italy?
No.
No?
Thailand maybe.
Thailand.
Maybe.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Adrian.
And I'm intrigued to see the evolution of your brand, and I hope
Thank you.
everything works out. Wishing you success.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace and love.